Yep, there definitely isn't any more rock and roll, just fifth generational psychological warfare being waged on you right now. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Zerkerdowski here of wearechange.org, and things are absolutely getting wild, especially when it comes to our discourse here in the United States, as things aren't what they say they usually are, as we are dealing with a very serious situation, which at least some people are trying to help, but will absolutely be escalating from here, as there's a lot of maniacal idiots out there who just want to see the world burn. We're going to be talking about those individuals in the context of all the breaking, crazy, bewildering news happening all over the world on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was, of course, a new music video released by our friend 5-Time August. He is an incredible music artist. His latest song that he just dropped today, that is titled Ain't No Rock and Roll, is absolutely incredible. It should be an anthem for all the people that sold you out, all the celebritards, all the influencers, all the people that are worshipped in our society are up to no good, and at least there are still artists like 5-Time August out there that are willing to call it out. We are going to be linking the full music video that you just watched a short clip of down in the description below, so you could go show your support for independent musicians, which we are ever so desperately needing in our modern day society that is decaying, as the American people are being robbed of the purchasing power of the money that they work so hard for. But hey, the government there is co-organizing a gambling racket where they keep the majority of the money from, which is called the Powerball, which now has climbed to $1.73 billion. After theft, you're probably left with a lot less, as a lot of people are calling gambling, and especially state-sanctioned lotteries, a tax on the poor, as of course, the only real big winner here is going to be the state, as of course, it is predominantly being more and more financed by people's gullibleness, greediness, as more and more people face very desperate economic situations to where they see the lottery as a way out, which of course it never is, especially in an ever so flailing U.S. dollar system that has now incurred more debt in the past 18 days than it did under 200 years from 1776 to 1975. That is a huge, major deal, as of course the President of the United States currently is mixing up Ukraine and Israel and announcing the canceling of $127 billion in student debt, which is, again, just absolutely idiotic, as he is bankrolling, financing, and helping out huge predatory financial institutions that have screwed people over, and now we'll be getting a government handout and screwing more people over because of that. You look at the price of services that are financed by the U.S. tax dollars partly, they have been going up dramatically in price. Hospitals, colleges, all of that financed by your tax-paying dollars, and the price of it just keeps mysteriously going up and up, as if there was some kind of free market rule and law highlighting predatory behaviors by some absolutely awful human beings that are rigging the system for themselves. This, as one U.S. Congress member, Thomas Macy, has just designed a new badge that he is wearing in Congress that uses Wi-Fi and notifies fellow members of the U.S. House of Representatives the current U.S. national debt, which is already hitting $33.5 trillion. Holy frickin' cow. Just when you thought you were dealing with highway robbery, you just lost everything. Your pockets are filled with lint, your future is bleak, and you're going to be forced to pay tens of thousands of dollars, all in the name of theft, which some politicians are still calling taxes, as of course money gets laundered in and out from Ukraine to them. People are defrauded more than ever, just like in the Sam Bankman-Fried case over FTX, where now his girlfriend just arrived in court and will be testifying against him. Will he actually be held accountable for, buying off politicians that are screwing you over? Well, we will only be able to see after the court proceedings are done here. as the price of LukeUnfiltered.com has still stayed the same. I thought about raising it. I actually might because of just how many offers of value we have for members here of LukeUnfiltered.com. As just a couple days ago, we had an in real life meetup here in Florida. We also gave out a lot of tickets to the Timcast IRL event that just happened here in Miami. Lots of very happy, satisfied members that are taking advantage of the forum, of the contest, of the giveaways, and more importantly, 3 very important master classes. And whether you're interested in becoming a journalist, whether you're interested in expatting and traveling in the world, or whether you're interested in just, surviving on your own, you should check out LukeUnfiltered.com. You should sign up and then check out the Apocalypse Survival Training full masterclass that is available free just for members. It is worth looking into. You could download all of the videos. We have 50 plus videos about survival, about living in the wild, about filtering your water, you name it, we got it. Download those videos in case anything happens. Who knows? The world is getting crazier by the day. You might need it, and it's better to have it than to not. Download it, put it on your hard drive, put it on your phone. As the information that we provide you in these courses is absolutely very important for the general public to understand and to, of course, have no matter what happens in the foreseeable future. You could be ready for it all just by downloading and taking the Apocalypse Survival training classes that we have available to you for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. Signing up, it's quick and easy. You just click the link down in the description below. You go to LukeUnfiltered.com, you click here, you put in your information, your name, your email, your credit card information. Very quick, very easy. You get emailed the password, you get to log in, and there will be a special report ready for you right after this video, getting into some other topics that we cannot discuss here on this particular broadcast. Those conversations, that video, that special report curated for you to make the best decisions in your life, available to you right now as a member of LukeUnfiltered.com. And again, in an ever so crazy world, information is crucial, especially as, of course, there's a lot of lunatics trying to make the world that much worse for everyone else. As, of course, we have been documenting to you the orchestrated and organized efforts to bring the world towards a bigger war, as even the Wall Street Journal is now claiming that Iran was the culprit here behind the latest attacks that just happened in Israel, and therefore we need to attack them immediately. This is the same kind of sentiments being spoken by a lot of neoconservatives in Washington, D.C., who are calling for the implementation of this policy after the Wall Street Journal's paper, which even the Biden administration, the IEDF, and other government officials are speaking out against and saying is based on false information. This, as we keep just getting incredibly heartbreaking stories from both sides of this conflict, as a lot of innocent people are being involved here from the Israeli side, from the Palestinian side. There's a 2-part story here of one young woman describing the saga that she is going through inside of Palestine as bombs are falling out all around her, her community, her loved ones, all under attack. As it's important to note here that this is happening in Palestine and in Israel. There are women who look identical to the woman in Palestine who are dealing with very similar situations as, of course, Hamas terrorists stormed into Israel and then committed human atrocities against the civilians there. As today we are getting one story, particularly from the Kibbutz Kfar Azaz area, where Hamas troops are being accused of taking 40 babies from Israeli settlers and then taking their lives. This, as we have an on-the-ground report from I-24 News detailing, quote, specifically how an Israeli commander told them that about 40 babies have lost their life in this specific region. Now, of course, we are still waiting to find out the official numbers of exactly what's going on here, but this clip is going viral. This talking point is being shared around wildly. And let's be honest here, if this story is true, and if it does become verified, and if those numbers are even higher than what this Israeli commander tells the world it is right now, this will be a major incident that, of course, changes the face of this entire conflict. Now, There are some people skeptical of this story. There are some people that are bringing up the 1991 Iraqi baby incubator story to compare here. Is that fair to do now? Some people say no. Some people say yes. This as we still wait for the official number of innocent civilians and casualties that have been hurt here during this entire fighting, as it does seem like there's a never-ending amount of horrible video footage even being released by Hamas, showing them shooting dogs, lighting houses on fire, and going after civilians that they did specifically target, go after, and take the lives of. Actions that we could only hope there is some actual justice for, and those who committed those crimes be held accountable for those actions, as those actions have been met with Israel also, of course, aggressively answering back against the Palestinian people, as we are also getting a report of a major bombing that's happening right now between the Egyptian and Palestinian border crossing, as we're getting videos like this showing the prevention of many civilians from being able to leave the region, as Israel is warning Egypt that it will bomb any trucks that it brings into Gaza, as we are getting video reports of Egyptians allegedly sending in energy into the region, as of course Gaza has officially been cut off from electricity, from water, from food, isolating nearly 2 million people in the region that now have to face the brunt of what is only the beginning of a major Israeli operation that has just begun. As just a couple hours ago, the Israeli army has announced that they are launching a full-scale attack on the Gaza Strip. And whether it's Israeli citizens or Palestinian citizens here, we have to understand here, for innocent human beings to face the brunt of consequences for its government's action, it's something that is absolutely awful here. And if the shoe was on the other foot here, you probably wouldn't like the consequences. As online commentator Shoe on Head, I believe, had the best comment of the week here, saying, quote, "As an American, I frankly couldn't imagine having my water shut off every time my country did a war crime." As many people point out, that water wouldn't exist in America if that was the case. And I think she frankly makes a very good point here, as a lot of innocent civilians are caught up in a lot of this political madness, as even the United States soon might be involved in this conflict, as their special forces have just landed inside of Israel and might be taking part in a hostage rescue situation, as we are getting some reports that American citizens have, of course, been kidnapped by Hamas and are currently being held captive. And it's not just the special forces that might be involved here, as of course Lindsey Graham is calling for the United States to preemptively start a war with Iran in response to all of this, even though the IDF and the Biden administration are countering any reports of their direct links to this larger operation, which, as of we were reporting yesterday, the Egyptians were warning the Israelis was coming. And with Lindsey Graham and other House representative members calling to start more wars and being more aggressive about that than actually securing the border here in the United States, we are seeing the lines being drawn by many countries that are forming alliances like Russia, that, of course, just issued a statement asking for the independent, sovereign Palestine state today in the United Nations, as that country, as well as Serbia now, along with Iran, along with China, along with Saudi Arabia, along with Syria now, are becoming more and more geopolitically opposed towards the Western doctrine that, of course, is being heavily challenged with the attack that is happening right now on Israel. And we're dealing with a situation where people are just calling for more bloodshed, more war, and that, to me, is idiotic. I understand defending yourself. I understand punishing those who wronged you. Obviously, 100% here. But to do that recklessly, that leads to more civilian life loss, will only lead to more civilian life loss. As it's important to note here that what's happening right now in Israel is U.S. taxpayer dollar financed munitions going up against U.S. taxpayer financed munitions. How do you bring peace to the Middle East? Well, can you? Well, at least the very thing we could do is stop being the number one military exporter in the world, while, of course, preaching people about the virtues of democracy and peace overthrowing democratically elected leaders. Maybe just throwing a whole bunch of weapons into the region and then losing them might have not been the best policy here. Maybe intervening, maybe calling for more war isn't the best policy here. And if you agree with that, it is more critically important for you to share this video to get these larger sentiments out there. I don't have the answer. I don't have the solution, but I think it's fair to say that a lot of people on both sides have absolutely overstepped and done way too much damage to each other, and that we definitely need a shift in policy here from the norm, as of course the norm has brought us here. That's just my perspective. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong. What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively watching and sharing these videos, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org. One more video, uncensored, unfiltered video coming your way right now on lukeunfiltered.com. See you there.